Hi and welcome to another video in which I'm going to be sharing with you the New Chapter Tarot by Catherine Briggs. This is a Liminal 11 tarot deck that I was recently sent to review. It is £21.99 in the UK, so it's really reasonably priced. As you can see, it's got the beautiful gold shimmery edging on the box. It says a complete 78 card tarot deck with an introductory booklet, a story, a journey, a self-portrait of change. The new chapter tells the story of a woman who had to leave her old life behind and return to her home country following the end of her marriage. Each card is a meditation in paint. The completed deck represents a new life, a circle of hope and friendship of love. I think this looks like such a lovely deck. And I was sent an art card from this tarot deck a few months ago, prior to it being released, and so I've been looking forward to getting hold of this to review. So we'll take a look at it now. So as you can see, it comes in a beautiful cardboard box with a magnetic opening, and it's a beautiful yellow inside these patterns. And then the second box comes out. You can see in there the patterns continued, and it just closes beautifully like so. So this second box we have, you can see that it says NC for New Chapter. It's a beautiful navy blue. And inside the second box there is the cardboard guideline here, but that does come out. So here's the tarot deck itself, she says, having left a few cards behind because I have taken the plastic lining off. So I'll just move them out of the way. So there's the tarot deck. You can see it isn't edged as so, it's just got white edges. And you can see the back here with the owl and the swan on. I haven't looked through these cards myself yet, so I look forward to sharing these with you for the first time. So also in this box is the guidebook that we will look at in a moment. And I said about this cardboard outline, but it is removable. And I'm glad about that because I don't tend to keep these in the box. So this here is the inside. You can see it says NC at the bottom. So it's a lovely second box. And we'll have a look now at the guidebook. So this is an instructional guide. It is hardback. How cute is that? All the Liminal 11 decks I've looked at have hardback guidebooks. They're all really small, the size of tarot cards. They're just really cute. Some really cute artwork there to begin with. It says New Chapter Tarot. And then we have the contents and a foreword by Rachel Pollack. An introduction, the major arcana, the minor arcana, exclusive cards to this deck, a guide on reading the tarot and some spreads. So here we have the foreword, which is written by Rachel. Quite lengthy. And then we have the introduction, which is written by Catherine. And then we have a guide to the major arcana. And then you get a section, a page on each card, and you can see the pictures of the cards here. And then when it moves on to the minor arcana, you can see it explains about wands, and then it gives you a paragraph for the meaning of each card. And again, it explains about swords and so on. So those are the minor arcana cards. And then we've got exclusive cards, which are gratitude and invocation. And then we've got a guide to reading the tarot. And then we have some spreads. And then at the very end, you have the art pages here. So in total, this is 69 pages long. It's a lovely little instruction guide. It's really sweet, really handbag sized. It's just right for this deck. So I'll pop that there. Let's have a look at the cards. So here are the cards. You can see the owl and the swan on the back there, the black backs, white edging as I showed you before. They are slightly smaller than the standard tarot card size. But they're a lovely deck to hold, so we'll have a look through them. They are matte, but kind of shiny as well. Nice and easy to shuffle, they're lovely. So here we have the Fool, and it's got like two faces there and a statue with a rabbit above it. It's not your stereotypical fool card, but it's still very, very pretty. And then we have the Magician. I like how they've got the elements split down here. So it's almost like the mirror's being cracked and you can see all the different pieces, and the moon there as a crown. And then we have the High Priestess. Now, as you can see, this is a card from the packaging. So the High Priestess here, and you've got the three elements of different people. I like how it's not just one High Priestess. I love the stars on the curtains either side of this card. And the Empress. So if we look at this, you can see all the cards have really easy to read titling at the base and numbering. The Empress, she's holding a flower there and the moon in her hand. Very natural. And then we have the Emperor. For some reason he reminds me of a biker, but he's not, and he's holding an orb in his hand and he's got the sun behind him and it looks like he's carrying a scroll or a candle there. Very kind of bossy Emperor. And then we have the Teacher. Now, this will be different from the Hierophant, which is the traditional tarot, but I like the fact they've used the Teacher. I think it works. And then we have the Lovers, which is interesting because it's all discs that have been combined, a bit like a Venn diagram. Certainly a different view on things. Then we have the Chariot, which looks like we've got a pharaoh there. And then we have these horses, but they've got like fish tails, if you will. It's a very different sort of outlook on the cards. Then we have Justice. I like how she's in like a sarong and she's holding a scale still. This haircut here reminds me of a Tori Amos album, Strange Little Girls from years ago. Or was it Strange Little Girls that I'm thinking of? I'll have to look back. And then we have the Hermit, and you just get the back of the cloak there and the glow. We don't have here, see, it's actually a mountain, isn't it? But you can see it's a person as well. It's a strange one. We don't have the traditional lamp there being held by the Hermit. Interesting concepts. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. I find this interesting because you've got, I'm guessing, a male figure, I think it is, who's bending down in front of this wheel that's changing, almost like sacrificing oneself for change. It's a very different concept, but I do like it. I do so love Liminal 11 decks. Here we've got Strength with the lion, and she's got her own wings and a snake behind her. Interesting. Then we have the Hanged Man, and I always switch him around so you can see. Nice and comfortable. He looks like he's meditating there. Just meditating in suspense. And then we have Death. This looks quite evil, doesn't it? Like plotting. I do like it though. Then we have Temperance. And it's a single figure that's joined together with two heads here and wings. It's this balance. And then we have the Devil. And at first I thought the Devil was giving me the finger then, but it's not. It's the Devil's doing a signal. It's almost like a gun signal in a way. And he's wrapped. He's bound. Interesting. And the Tower. Yeah, typical tower. But look, you can turn it upside down. It's almost like a second tower there. It's interesting concepts. How beautiful is this star? This reminds me very much of the Thoth. It feels Thothy in design. And the moon. We have these different characters, almost like a yin-yang in the moon. And the sun. All them geometric patterns. It's beautiful, isn't it? Then we have Judgment. At first I saw these as banjos and thought, no, they're not. But again, that geometric kind of balance. Excuse the beeping in the background, it's my printer switching off. And then we have the Universe. This kind of creature again with like these almost tentacles or like a tree. Here we have the Ace of Wands. Now this was the art card that I was sent a long time ago. And I saw this and thought, oh, I can't wait for that tarot deck. It just looks so colourful. It's beautiful, isn't it? Then we have the Two of Wands. And the 3. And it looks like you've got the ram horns here. And then the 4. And I like how it's drawing you into the card, into this celebration, if you will. We have the 5, and it looks like almost a volcanic eruption in a way, but also at the helm of something like a steering wheel. Interesting. And we have the 6. See, these are my first impressions on the cards. I haven't looked through these yet, so you're having the first trip with me through this deck. So I'll probably notice a lot more later on once I've used them more. I like that. Oh, I like this 7 as well with a tattoo on the arm, holding the wands. Then we have the 8, which almost looks like Cupid's arrow, but obviously there's a lot more arrows. The speed there, you can see that catapult's going to throw them quickly. Then we have the 9 of wands, and this red sphere in the background is being pierced. And the 10, which looks quite catastrophic. You've got a mountain here, and you've got what looks like a bird being struck, and flames, you know, overwhelmment. Then we have the Princess of Wands. So this will be rather than the page. We have the Princess. You can see the fire. And the Knight. And he's literally riding his horse through the flames. And then we have a Queen. And a King. Oh, this is interesting with that lion there. Is that a bird as well? Or is that just he's got wings? A very strong card. Then we have the Ace of Cups. Absolutely beautiful. I love the colours here. And the 2. Oh, this is divine with the snakes coiling between each other. Almost yin-yang as well. In fact, there is the eternity symbol there, isn't it? Absolutely lovely. Then we have the 3 of Cups. I like the triangle here. The joining. And then the 4 with a rabbit or a hare maybe. And flowers. And the 5. These cups are pouring out. And there's one upright. And we have the 6. This is absolutely gorgeous with the bird. I think it's a seagull and the flower and the cups. And the 7. And these are all joined together as cups in that geometric pattern. Again, you can see someone upside down here. Yeah, these are very, very different from your traditional Rider-Waite tarot. And then we have the 8 of Cups, that's sailing away. That's beautifully done. And the 9. It almost looks like a balancing act. The 9 of Cups is meant to be the wish card. I don't feel that the same kind of vibe from this particular one. The 10 with that rainbow, absolutely lovely. Then we have the Princess. And the Knight. Oh, with the 2 horses. Interesting. And then the Queen. And she looks like she's almost in a flower. And the King. With his wings, he is a bird. He's flying. I find that interesting because cups I associate with water. Obviously, you can see the blue here. But to see the wings and the feathers, I'm then associating it with air, which would be swords. Speaking of swords, here we have the Ace of Swords. It's quite different, isn't it? You can see the clouds there for the air. And the 2 of Swords, that's interesting. I like the colours, I like the landscape. And the 3, goodness. That's startling. That's not a card I like. As in, it's lovely, but that's quite scary. That's almost like having to hold your hand up and just let the sword go in and just take it, you know, that you don't know what's coming, but something's going to harm you. Something's going to hurt you. Something's going to... You've got the scales there as well of balance. 3 of Swords has never been a favourite card for anyone, I don't think. Then we've got the 4 of Swords. Beautiful geometric patterns again. And the 5. So I can see from this, I like the pentagram. This deck isn't your traditional Rider-Waite. You will probably have to have some knowledge of the tarot before using this deck. We've got the 6 of Swords. That's quite... with all the blood. And what looks like a unicorn that's been slayed. See, this is quite dramatic. These are very, very different cards. Very emotive. Then we have the 7, which reminds me much of a Picasso painting. And then we have the 8. And the old man with his sword is surrounded there. And these wings, so he's free to fly, but he's surrounding himself with a sword. Then we have the 9. We can see it's like wrap around. And the 10. I do like this vine that goes round. Then we have the Princess of Swords. And the Knight, also on a horse. And the Queen, who's interestingly walking through water. Now, I said before about the Queen of Cups looking almost airy and like the swords, whereas this one actually looks almost watery like the cups. That's quite a contrast. Then we have the King of Swords here, and you can see it's like a constellation in the sky. Interesting. And the Ace of Discs, rather than coins or pentacles, it's discs. And we have the geometric patterns again, and the 2. It feels very thothy. I mean, I like the apples. I like what this deck's doing, but you are going to have some knowledge of the tarot prior to reading this, because it doesn't feel hugely intuitive. Here we have the 3 of discs, and the 4, and the 5. Goodness. Oh, that would like typically be a picture of like a church or some sort of building with stained glass windows and a snowy scene, and people are walking around outside and they could go in but they're out in the cold, whereas this is literally a skeleton in a box. That's quite daunting. This deck is hard hitting. Then we have a kitten or a cat in a flower for the 6. Oh, is this pretty with the plants? 7 of discs. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? The stained glass window for the 8. And then we have the 9. And the 10, oh, with a castle. Very Disney. And almost like telling the story of this perfect place. Then we have the Princess of Discs. Now you can see we've got here what looks like a male playing the princess, which is absolutely fine, because obviously a page in the traditional Rider-Waite would be girl or boy. And I do like decks that are diverse, and this is definitely different and it's diverse. Then we have the Knight and the Queen and the King. And that looks almost like a turtle or a dinosaur. And then here we have the 2 bonus cards, which are Gratitude and Invocation. And these 2 cards are explained in the booklets, which I will find now. So these 2 cards are explained in here, and you can see the booklet's actually got the Gratitude as its cover there. So if I go to the bonus cards, I can tell you that gratitude is you are seen and known because of what the universe sees in you and knows of you. You are connected to the world and are a vital part of it. You are needed and your needs are supported and met in each measure. Grow in the direction is outpouring and nurturing and connectedness. And remember, you are loved. And then we've got the reverse meaning. So it's reverse meaning. So it's certainly about gratitude, as it's called, but it's about knowing that you're loved and cared for. Whereas invocation is to take a moment to clarify your intentions. A call to connect with your guides. Reach out to the guardian of the first threshold. They will test your resolve and worthiness to cross over. Intimidating at first, the guardian nonetheless holds your best interest and inner growth at heart. Magic is all around us and we only need to tap into it. So open yourself to receive guidance and wisdom. This is a beautiful deck. It feels quite different to previous Liminal 11 decks that I've actually had. The actual cardstock feels lovely, but it does feel somewhat different as well. I can't describe how. It's a lovely deck, don't get me wrong, but it is quite frothy. It does feel almost like you're going to need some knowledge of the tarot prior to using it. It's different, and the vibe of it is hard hitting. I do love it already, and I'm looking forward to working with it. Have you got the new chapter tarot yet? It is available to order now. Will you be ordering it? Have you seen it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Share your ideas. Let me know what you think. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it informative. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're taking care and staying safe. Thanks again. Bye.